Sandy's losses are expected to be more than $20 billion with a B. And just to give you an example, you got to take a look at some devastation that we've seen in Connecticut. We've got home after home that we're going to show you in a second with the walls literally ripped off. And we'll show you that in a second because it really is unbelievable. And then there's these cars as well. They're the homes that we're talking about. Look at it. They look like doll houses, but they're very real homes that belong to real people who were devastated tonight. So I want to go to John Rocco, owner of Trans-American Associates New Jersey, an insurance agent. This is really an important time. If you have a loss, you are best served by doing certain things immediately. What should people who have experienced property damage or destruction do right now, John?
Hi, Jane. I have clients calling me, telling me they're stuck without power, trees falling on their houses and on their cars and flooding, asking me what should I do now that the claim has occurred. I tell them the most important thing is to remember to document everything, keep receipts, take pictures, and do whatever you can to prevent further damage.
Well, you're absolutely right, because if you don't take pictures and the cleanup starts and your car is removed, the debris is taken off of it, then you won't necessarily be able to prove what happened. But here's a question I want to ask you, and we're going to take a look at some flooding footage. And it really doesn't matter where it's from because floods are floods. A lot of people don't have necessarily the exact perfect policy that they should have for something like this. I can only speak about it personally. When I lived in California, earthquake insurance was really important to have, and not everybody had it. What does everybody have flood insurance that you've been talking to?
Most people do, and others have it covered by FEMA. Certain policies are different. You have to look at your policy and contact your agent and make sure you're covered properly. Yeah,
but I mean, how do you know? I've looked at my policy. It's gobbledygook. You've got to be a PhD in insurance to read it. Are most people going to be covered? Do you think, I'm not asking you to hedge your bets here, just your opinion, people whose homes were flooded, do you think that most people are going to get the coverage they need, or will they have to go for government help if they don't have that flood insurance?
Most people will have it depending on where you're located. Others that do will have a 5% hurricane deductible.
And remember, if you think back to Katrina, a lot of people ended up living in those FEMA trailers that became quite controversial because they had formaldehyde issues, but a lot of people had nowhere to go, and they did have to turn to FEMA for actually a place to call home, a roof over their heads. More on the other side.